Genshin Could Never is dead, because the changes we've been waiting for ages have finally come. New region, artifact selector, better movement, and more Primogems? Well, we got early access to Genshin 5.0, so let's check out all the huge and little changes in this massive update. Starting off with what everyone wants to hear, Primogems! Archon Quest? Primogems! Story Quest? Primogems! Shrine? Primogems! Returning player? Primogems! Anniversary? Primogems! Have I got your attention now? Okay, good. With that out of the way, let's check out Natlan, the new Pyro region. The region has 6 tribes, with 3 being the main focus of Genshin 5.0. We have the Children of Echoes, Scions of the Canopy, and People of the Springs, each occupying a section of Natlan which look distinctly different from each other, for example a mine, a forest, and an ocean side. We can learn more about these tribes through something called Tribe Chronicles, which are unlockable stories through the reputation system. Yeah, that one. You can access these at the obsidian pillars of each tribe. These stories also act as character story quests for the new characters, and upon completion will give you even more Primogems! Oh, and enough ascension materials to bring them to level 60. Speaking of which, we have 3 new characters from Natlan. Kachina, from the Children of Echoes tribe, is a Geo Polearm user who uses a drill to slam an area. Her burst makes a construction zone that improves the drill's abilities. She also has some great exploration abilities as well. She can ride the drill to move and climb walls way faster. She can also mark local resources nearby, that of which will restore stamina when harvested. Mualani, from the People of the Springs tribe, is a Hydro Catalyst user who has a surfboard. She can bite people and mark them by making contact with them. If you mark 3 enemies, you can unleash an enhanced bite. Her burst is a giant shark missile. She also has great exploration abilities. She can ride the surfboard at absurd speeds on land, water, and even lava. She can also mark local resources nearby, that of which restores Phlogiston. Finally, Kinich, from the Scions of the Canopy tribe, is a Dendro Claymore user who has a grappling hook and a dragon named Ajaw. His skill causes him to grapple around enemies. He can build points by attacking or touching the green zones to unleash a much bigger attack. His burst will summon Ajaw to shoot fire everywhere, which is technically Dendro, and like the rest, he has great exploration abilities as well. His grappling hook can be used outside of combat as a grappling hook, and he can also mark local resources nearby, which increases movement speed when harvested. These characters and their signature weapons will be on the limited banner starting with Mualani and Kazuha in Phase 1, and Kinich and Raiden Shogun in Phase 2. And meanwhile, Kachina will appear in both banners as the 4-star, but you do get her for free in the Archon quest. Now we did mention the term Phlogiston a few times before. It's an advanced version of the Pyro element, and it is pretty important to the lore and mechanics in Natlan. Natlan characters have this extra stamina bar thing that is filled with Phlogiston, and it grants them additional benefits to their abilities, where for example, Kachina can climb walls longer, Mualani can surf longer, and Kinich can grapple twice. Phlogiston is also very important for the new Saurian Indwelling mechanic, where you basically possess the monster. There are 3 monsters you can possess right now. The Tepilatosaurus is a geo-looking monster that can go underground, dig upwards, and leap a really long distance. The Tepilatosaurus and people from the Children of Echoes can also use something called molten fissures, which quickly transport you from one place to another. The Koholasaurus and people from the People of the Springs can use jet set eddies, which are basically jump pads, to leap much higher into the air. The Yumkasaurus is a dendro-looking monster that uses their tongue to grapple around freely. The Yumkasaurus and people from the Scions of the Canopy can grab and throw something called flame granites, which are basically explosive plants. All of these characters and creatures from Natlan require the use of Phlogiston, and it's pretty interesting to see how the new characters resemble their tribes and monsters. We still have 3 more tribes to look forward to, so it will be interesting to see what their respective monsters or territories will look like. There are also boss versions of these monsters. They're called the Gold Flame Kukasaur Tyrant and the Gluttonous Yumkasaur Mountain King. So here's a quick guide on how to defeat these bosses. For the first boss, you can use this teleporter, then walk past the shrine, jump down, and fly through a crack in the rock. The Gold Flame Kukasaur Tyrant will fly into the air during combat, and it will create a shield while attacking you. Periodically, it will shoot a feather onto the ground. You can destroy this with elements that react with pyro, and if you do this enough times, it will eventually get tired and fall to the ground for you to defeat. For the next boss, you can use this teleporter and walk directly into the ravine next to you. The gluttonous Yumkasor Mountain King has a ton of HP from being fat. It will collect flame granites and spit them out as bombs. But with a pyro character or someone from the Scions of the Canopy, you can set them on fire and yeah, don't need bombs. If you fail to do so though, just watch out for that giant laser. You'll have to defeat these bosses if you want to ascend the new Natlan characters. Moving on from the new region stuff, everyone is treated to a bunch of massive quality of life changes that we've all been waiting for. With every upcoming anniversary, including this one, everyone can choose a free 5-star from the standard banner, which includes these characters. More to come in the future. You can say goodbye to your 50-50s though, cause it's basically a 55-45 now. There has been a new change to the wishing system called Capturing Radiance. Ooh. The 50-50 still exists, and you can win or lose it as usual. But if you do lose though, first of all, I pray for you. Second, you are given one last mercy to guarantee the limited character with a 10% chance. On the other 90%, well, too bad. The weapon banner will also be less of a scam now, where fate points have been reduced from 2 to 1, so you're ever so slightly closer to that goddamn signature weapon. Aside from wishing, I know you've been camping that one domain for ages as well, and your inventory is probably full of artifacts for future characters or fodder. Well, we have a bunch of changes to the artifact system that will make our lives much easier now. After 4 years, we finally have the artifact selector. It allows you to select not only the main stat, but 2 substats as well. This item is quite limited though, but you can get it from exploring or completing quests. And you can craft them as well by sacrificing those copium ass artifacts you have, and we can only use them once in a while. But because of the anniversary, we do get one for free. For those terrible copium artifacts, well, you can finally dismantle them for artifact EXP now. You won't need to keep any more off pieces anymore. Not everyone's a whale though, and some of you are what we call dolphins, with the battle pass. That will be getting a change as well, where we can choose 3 out of 4 rewards across all levels of the battle pass. Finally, no more 16,000 Mora. We are given a choice between Mora, character XP, weapon XP, and artifact XP. And if you did pay for the battle pass, you'll also get a talent material selector. If you found the overworld mobs to be too easy, we finally have world level 9. Which brings enemies to around level 100, so you probably have a lower chance of one-shotting everything now. With the new world level, the drop rate for boss materials will increase. But we got an additional increase in material drop rate for certain enemies, which were a pain in the ass to farm before. If you know, you know. For those of you with resinless behavior, yeah, I'm looking at you, you're probably out there scavenging for materials. Now, these materials can be roughly shown its location and remaining amount in an area, so you can probably get rid of some of those pins now. That concludes the major quality of life changes and the new region as well. There are still other small changes that are just too long to list for this video, such as the new events or game mode changes and so on. But regardless, I think a lot of veteran and returning players will greatly appreciate this update. So, are you excited to explore Natlan? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for early videos like this one.